going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Bitcoin continues to grind sideways in this crab market. We have put in another lower high, but we have put in a higher low. So it is bulls versus bears. If you go anywhere on Twitter, YouTube, any of the Discords, everyone's arguing, saying we're going to have a massive blast to the upside. We're going to have a massive blast to the downside. Well, it is definitely bulls versus bears, and it is time for me to make a video. I haven't really been making a lot of updates because essentially the chart has been playing out exactly as we anticipated it to. However, you will notice that we are very, very close to the end of this range, and Bitcoin is in fact sitting below the 50 EMA. Now, this EMA has held us here for multiple weeks. It has provided a floor. It has been the base. The bulls have been defending it. However, today we are falling below it, and we do have the 50 moving above the 50 EMA. They are going to potentially cross or at least level out. And what does this mean for the Bitcoin price? Well, lots of people are scared about this grayscale 550 million GBTC unlock. They're saying that this is just going to be a massive dump eventually when this does happen. I'm going to let you know my opinions on that. There's been something very interesting happening in the background with coins flowing off exchanges. However, we do have one theory as to where these coins might be going and what they are doing. So I do want to talk about all of that today, explain what is going on with the on-chain analysis, but we need to talk about the fact that it is very critical times for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is essentially looking for a massive move. We're going to analyze this chart. We're going to see what is the most likely outcome, and I'll also show you how you can trade this crazy breakout, which is inevitable. We're going to be having this most likely within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'd say we're going to be having a massive move for Bitcoin. So if that sounds interesting and you want to know how I'm going to be playing this, well, stick around to the end of this video. Today's video does have to be a little bit quick. I have a DMV appointment in 2 hours from this video, so I need to get this out quick. So we are going to keep it short, and if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, consider it. No editing on today's video. We are going hard, and we are going raw. You know what? Maybe that wasn't exactly the greatest way to word that, but yeah, for all you minds in the gutter, let's get into this. We're going hard and we're going raw. All right. So anyway, all right, seriously. So having a look right here, guys, what is actually going on right now is we are obviously in a bear trend on the daily. You cannot deny this. It doesn't matter. On the weekly, if we go back to the weekly, you could argue that yes, we are still in a bull trend. This is still putting in higher lows on the macro. Everything looks great. And honestly, guys, when you zoom out, Bitcoin always looks great. I'm always a long-term Bitcoin bull, right? But a lot of people are very interested in what is going to be happening in the immediate short term. Now, yes, we could have a massive explosion. We could have some big news come out, right? There's been rumors about Apple buying Bitcoin. Keep in mind, it's just a rumor at this point, no confirmation, right? But if something like that was to come out, then yeah, I mean, I could definitely see a massive skyrocket, at least to this resistance level right here, where then we would be, having a little bit of an issue. But currently, right now, just based on the actual market structure with what I'm literally just looking at with my eyes right now, it really doesn't look good for Bitcoin. Now, I've talked about a relief rally up to even the $48,000 level. Do I think that is still possible? Yes, I do. We do know that Bitcoin has the ability to surprise you when you least expect it. However, realistically, when you're having a look right here, you could see down in this area, we had essentially all of this momentum right here, right down here. Okay, and look at that. These were all these giant momentum waves to the upside, right? But down here, you could see that we've actually been putting in a lot of red down here, right? We have been losing the money flow, and we've been putting in a lot of big blue waves on the bottom. Now, essentially, you could say, yes, this is just coiling up for a big move to the upside, right? But as I've stated, the dollar, the DXY has been pumping. And although stocks have been performing well, we know that when you talk about these types of, hedges against inflation like gold, silver, Bitcoin, etc., they tend to be affected by the dollar appearing at least to strengthen short term on the charts. So we really want to have this resistance here, because if we do have this breakout, it might not be good for Bitcoin short term. Having a look right here, we have two of the major diagonal trends that I've been looking at, right? And we have this top right here, and if we extend it down, you do notice that it provided support. Once we broke that support, we had a massive cascading dump all the way down to that $29,000 level. So that's our first key point. That's why I have these two pink lines drawn. The second one being this resistance flip support right here. Now, thus far, following this all the way down here, it has acted as support. But let me zoom in here and show you exactly what is happening right now. If we actually zoom in, you could see that we did get rejected off of this resistance right here once, once, and we have been held down multiple times on this level. So the thing is, guys, if we do in fact have a breakdown to the downside, we most likely will come down and retest this level again, which, if we went down today, that would take us to about the $27,800 level. Okay, now that doesn't mean that it's the end for Bitcoin, but it certainly wouldn't be good. Now, let me actually zoom in here and show you exactly why this situation right now is getting pretty serious. So you could see, and this is why I really haven't made a video, because it has been playing out exactly as we expected it. We've been talking about this critical resistance now for weeks. Resistance, 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 resistance. We had one little bull trap right here where we did actually touch the top of this pink line, right? The one that I just showed you from all the way back there. But we couldn't stay up there for more than just a few days. We came back down, and look at this, guys. Same trend line. Resistance, 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 and not only did we get resistance again this time, but now we have a blood diamond. We also have the momentum waves moving to the downside, and we are definitely in the red. So I'm not trying to be a Bitcoin bear. I'm just trying to be realistic here, guys. Essentially, if you have a look at this right now, everything for the most part is looking like Bitcoin wants to dump. I mean, that's just how the charts are looking. It's how I'm interpreting the data. Doesn't mean we're going to dump, but traditional technical analysis, everything right now being below the 200, daily moving average, having all of this resistance overhead. And the other thing too is some people are saying this looks like, this pattern, it looks like that pattern, but really when you actually just take out this little bull trap right here, what are we actually forming right now? Let's really look at this. Well, we have this downward sloping resistance. And if you actually look at this as a bit of a bear trap, well, look at this, guys. We are actually forming a descending triangle. Now, descending triangles are inherently bearish, right? They typically break to the downside. In fact, if you want to see one of the largest descending triangles, let me actually go to the weekly here. You can actually see that we had one essentially back here in the major, bull run into bear market of 2017, 2018, right? With the exception of this blow off top, which was the 20K blow off top right here, right? If we actually take that out of the equation, look at what we have. I'll actually show you right now with the trends, right? We had this right here coming down, and then we had this holding support right here, right? So what we were doing was we were bouncing around in this descending triangle where the top is sloping down, but the bottom resistance stays level. Now, right in this area, we had Mike Novogratz. We had all these guys saying Bitcoin has bottomed out. That's it. And what did we do? We actually squeezed another 50% down to the downside. So I'm not trying to say that that is exactly what we're forming right now, but it does kind of look like that to me. Now, listen, I'm the first person on planet Earth that would love for Bitcoin to have a massive breakout rally, and I still think it's possible, right? Get the bulls' hopes up. But it does unfortunately seem like there is a lot of resistance, and you could see right here, if we push much lower, if Bitcoin falls below $32,665, then you probably are looking for a massive, massive sell-off. So how would I play this? Well, guys, essentially, it's really simple. I'm looking at these two levels. So if Bitcoin breaks out of this area, right, we break above this, yes, it could be a bull trap. I would be looking to put in a long. And around the price today, that's $34,355. So if we have a break above $34,326, even if we do have that retest, then yes, I would be looking for a massive long. And if we do fall below this level right here, we might get supported at around the 31.7K level, retest it down. And if we do start pulling back, then I would definitely be looking to put in a short. And my first target would be all the way down at around $27,900. All right. So that is essentially how I'm looking to play this. Like either way, could break up to the upside, could break to the downside. It looks technically like there's more of a chance of it breaking to the downside, but this is Bitcoin world. Anything can happen, guys. But this is essentially how I'm playing it right now. No trading. No trading right now, but if we do have these breakouts or breakdowns, then I will be trading it in either direction. If you guys are interested, you guys know you could check out Bybit. However, Bybit did just implement a KYC. They still allow up to 2 Bitcoin daily. You can withdraw that, but that might not work for some people. If you do want a no KYC alternative, Femex is actually really good. I've actually been using, I used Femex a few days ago. It's a great exchange. They have a lot of different spot markets. Actually, for just $10 a month, you can do unlimited trading with no fees, which is pretty cool. And they also have a $1,200 bonus going on right now. If you guys are interested, check that out below. Also, make sure that if you are new to this, if you don't know what you're doing, watch my Femex tutorial popping up above. Make sure you watch that first before you try doing anything. Leverage trading is extremely risky, but with the right responsibility and, risk management, it actually can be quite profitable. So that is that, guys. Check those out. Links below in the description for bonuses. But speaking of longs and shorts, look at what is happening again over here on Bitfinex. We have this Bitfinex whale who had this whale. We don't know who it is, but they had these massive short positions, and look at this. This short position has been building up and up and up and again. And the last two times that we had these huge short positions, well, we did have a reaction in the chart to this. So, keeping our eye on this level, we do have the 200 weekly moving average way down here at around 13,000. I don't think we're going to go down that low. Is it a possibility? Sure. But by the time we get down to that level, this is probably going to be up here, a little bit more up here. So, it might meet us at the 20K level if we do continue to break to the downside. But the one thing that does bother me right now is the fact that we're actually below this, legacy support flipped resistance right here. You can see it was acting as support. Now it's acting as resistance. That's an issue. We also have this blood diamond right here over on the daily on Bitstamp. And the other problem that I don't like is you can see the VPVR right here, this red line, right? This is the most traded area, the most accumulated potentially area. I mean, we don't know if it's accumulation, it's just volume, but we can see right here that we are losing it. We are falling below it. And if we fall below this sort of $32,000 to $31,000 level, if we zoom out here, the next real true level of support is kind of around 26, but then the next major level is down around 24,000. So if we do lose this and we do start falling, we could start falling very fast. So that is my honest analysis, guys. I just want to let you know what I'm looking at. We're going to have a big move either way. It does appear on the charts that the move should technically be to the downside. But as I said, this is Bitcoin. And for example, if Apple came out tomorrow and said they bought Bitcoin, that would be a major fundamental catalyst and we would just skyrocket right through all the resistances. But right now we're not really getting that news. One thing I want to talk about super quick is from Glassnode. Bitcoin aged between 2 years and 5 years old have been accumulated between 2016 and 2019 at prices ranging from $640 to 20K. Conviction of these investors remains strong this cycle, now holding 22.9% of the Bitcoin supply. So essentially what this chart is telling you is that there are holders that have been holding Bitcoin for 2 years to 5 years between 640,000 and 20K or under, meaning that there is still roughly, based on this data, about 23% of long-term hodlers that are well in profit, right? So that is good, right? That means there's not really going to be any selling pressure for fear of, I'm losing money I just bought in recently. A lot of the money that we've seen moving out of the exchanges, a lot of these sales have been new Bitcoin, new people coming into the space, buying high, panic selling, or institutions buying and selling to, cover whatever, these guys, they need to make their clients happy, right? So you can kind of take this two ways. You could say in one hand, this is good because we do have hodlers, but in the other hand, a lot of these guys bought between $640 and $20,000. So, you know what I mean? There's not really much incentive to dive in necessarily unless they're just long-term accumulators. But if they're buying and holding, there's probably not going to be a lot of buying from these guys. Now, one thing that we could talk about is centralized exchanges have literally been losing Bitcoin. Roughly 2,000 Bitcoin has flowed out since late May. So we are seeing Bitcoin moving off of exchanges, which can arguably seen as something that is bullish, right? If you're taking Bitcoin off exchanges, you're probably putting it into cold storage or something like that, right? But the thing is if we actually scroll down here, the fall in the exchange reserves appears to have coincided with an uptick in capital flows to decentralized finance protocols. And you can see that the amount of value locked has increased by 21%. So it could just be that some people are speculating on DeFi right now, right? While Bitcoin is just so boring, people are hopping into the altcoins, playing around with some of the DeFi. That's what always happens during these sideways, consolidations. And of course, I want to talk about the big grayscale unlock that everyone is scared about. 40,000 Bitcoin will be unlocked in July. with the biggest unlock being July 18th, which is coming up. Lots of people are saying this is going to be a bearish catalyst. According to JP Morgan's analyst, the unlocking event could pose a downside risk on Bitcoin's spot market. However, a recent report from Kraken states that the structure of the market will unlikely be affected by the unlocks anytime soon. Now, this is their reasoning. They say the upcoming GBTC unlocks are a function of private placements done 6 months ago, when premiums to spot were closer to 30%. These trades were likely accompanied by a corresponding Bitcoin short leg, okay? And if anything, the unwinding of these shorts would translate into buying pressure. What's also different today is the absence of new private placements, thereby reducing potentially fresh shorting of spot Bitcoin, right? They also further state that institutional investors that attempted to arbitrage GBTC's premium could even hold on to their GBTC shares instead of selling in the secondary market to keep their short positions as well. This would entail that this is no net selling of that there's no net selling of the token. It's also possible that the investors sell their shares to cover their short positions, thus resulting in net buying of the token. However, both ways, the impact on spot prices may not be realized immediately as the market might expect. The way that I'm basically seeing this news is that if Bitcoin does dump, we need somebody to blame, right? People love blaming the news. You know, oh, it was the grayscale unlocks. Oh, it was Elon Musk. Oh, it was the China FUD. And while all of these may actually have effects on the price, maybe potentially, we know that realistically, in a bull run, in a bull market, there is no amount of bad news that can stop the price movement, right? The same way that in a bear market, there is no amount of good news that can push the price up. So realistically, how will this affect it? Probably won't have as big of an effect as people think. At the end of the day, if the market does decide to take a major dump, it is simply because that is what the market structure is doing. That is what is happening. There are more sellers than buyers. It is actually that simple, but I know people love a good story. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you had an amazing day. If you did appreciate this update, this was a very honest, straightforward, just, black and white update of how I'm looking at these markets right now. I am expecting a major move. Let me know what you guys are doing. I already told you exactly how I'm going to be playing these breakouts or breakdowns. Right now is the no trade zone for me. If we do have confirmation on the breakout to the upside, I will be longing. And if we do have confirmation to the breakdown to the downside, I will be shorting. It's really that simple. Tight stop losses, right? We could get a bull or bear trap, but essentially that is the name of the game, or just dollar cost average and hodl. Nobody who's ever done it for more than 3.5 years, shout out to Year of the Bull, knows that, it's always been a great strategy. So if you are interested in trading though, make sure that you watch the tutorials, which are going to be popping up right here, right now in just a few seconds, so that you can understand how to better allocate your trading as well as your risk reward and all that other stuff. I go over absolutely everything A to B, beginner to expert. So watch this, guys. And that's it for me. Thank you for coming back. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. Don't forget about the $1,200 bonus below. And until next time, peace out.